Hello and good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sherry Johnson. Welcome to the RISMedia Agent Webinar Series. I am so excited to be bringing this to you today. Great topics, great panelists. We're talking about a new year, a new strategy for social media. This is going to start your efforts in making and creating an agent's guide to social media in 2023. And we have an awesome panel and sponsor today. I'm excited. I'm going to be introducing them in one moment. But before I do, please, as you're joining us right now, go into the questions area of the GoToMeeting, GoToWebinar tab into the questions. Tell us where you're tuning in from so we know where you're coming, what city and state you're in. Right in the questions, we'll see where everyone is coming into from today, and where you are in the country would be fantastic. I am excited as a moderator for RISMedia webinars to bring this topic because I think those of you on today are going to get some unbelievable action items that you can implement for secrets of social media is what I'm really referring to this, because there are some really great gems of information that you're going to hear today. I'm Sherry Johnson. I am National Real Estate Coach, Consultant, Speaker, and CEO and founder of Sherry Johnson Coaching and Consulting. We provide one-to-one coaching as well as turnkey solutions for recruiting, retention, training, and all kinds of great things in real estate. So I'm 27 years in the business, managed and coached. I had a team of 750 agents out of Ohio and about $2 billion in annual sales. I started Sherry Johnson Coaching about 6 years ago, this month, actually, in March. So excited to be here, excited to be moderating, most importantly, of all of these great sponsors and guests. So first guest, I want to introduce and say hello to Carrie Little. Hi, Carrie.
How you doing?
I'm fantastic. Thank you for being here.
You know, I'm glad to be here. I'm coming in hot from Cancun.
Oh, that's even better. Carrie is a designated managing broker, owner of Carmark Realty Group. And Carrie, tell us a little bit about your company, size and scope, where it's located, and what you do.
So first of all, let me say this. It is Carmark Realty Group. I got slighted with the name. We can talk to my husband another day. So I have been in the business since 1997. My background is new construction. I work for one of the largest commercial holders in the world, AKA McDonald's. And I used to work for a big box brokerage, and I opened my own brokerage back in 2017. So the largest I've been is 45. I'm a little more strategic with how many agents we have. We have a brokerage in Illinois, and we just opened in Florida, because what we do is we want to focus on is helping agents either invest, get into development, or even commercial. And I do have a huge background in digital marketing and analytics. I used to edit television for a living, and I wrote the digital marketing practicum for the National Association of Realtors new undergrad program.
Yes, and I honestly, I have watched you and admired your social media talents from afar for a long time, and I think if you don't know, it's impossible not to know you. Honestly, I think that's why it's so great you're on today. So thanks for being
here. Thank you.
We're excited to have your secrets of what to be doing and how they can put this into practice immediately. Another panelist that is joining us, Stephen Halliday from Elm Street Technology. Hi, Stephen. Welcome.
Hi, how are you? I'm excited to get here.
Tell me what your role is, what you do, and where you're calling it from. I think Tampa, Florida.
Yes, so I'm with Elm Street Technology. I am a national business development consultant with the company. I am calling out of Tampa, Florida. Unfortunately, not Cancun, but Tampa. We still have beautiful weather here. So it's very exciting to get to be with all of you today. In my department of Elm Street, what I'm fortunate enough to do is normally I travel all around the US about 5-6 days a week, coming into your MLS associations, coming into your brokerage offices. I do one-on-one consultations, and also I do sit down with you virtually and do webinars, but I get to teach all the best practices, do's and don'ts, tips and tricks of online marketing for your real estate business. So everything from lead generation, repeat and referral business, lead nurture, organic traffic, paid traffic. And you know what? One of the great things about it is that we get to hear all the fears and concerns of brokers, of real estate agents, and we get to solve all those problems for you. And we get to do it in an educational platform. We get to motivate and inspire, which I think is pretty awesome, especially in 2023.
That's awesome, and thank you. I know from our pre-call, you know, the things I know you're going to be dropping today and sharing with everybody, and just ways to just, you know, staying ahead of social media is almost next to impossible. It changes so quickly. I know both of you are bringing such great ideas and best practices that we're going to hear about. I want to introduce our sponsor for today's RISmedia Agent webinar, which is Stephanie Alfonso, Director from Elm Street Technology. And hi there, Stephanie, how are you?
Hey guys. Oh, I'm just honored to be with all of you guys here today. So exciting. So yeah, Stephanie Alfonso. I am also from Tampa, Florida. I have been there originally from Massachusetts, been in Florida for over 27 years. But I am right now coming to you guys from Las Vegas. So again, not quite Cancun, but you know, so I don't know what time it is.
That's right.
But I am so I am the Director of Sales Enablement and Solution Engineering. I actually traveled with Stephen for many years all over the country with education and training agents and brokers alike. And now I have really transitioned into a role where I am able to now motivate, empower, and train within our company. And so it's been so awesome and just so exciting to be able to you know, be able to work on both sides of things, forward facing with our customers, and now really being able to enable our sales teams and our educators as well. So cool stuff.
Awesome. Thanks for being here. Tell us a little bit about Elm Street Technology, what you do. I've got this amazing slide here that kind of covers a lot of things, but tell us what your company does.
We do everything. Yes, so we are really leading the industry with real estate specific technology. So we cover and provide solutions, you name it, we do it, from everything from custom IDX websites, you know, done for you content, social media marketing, lead generation tools, CRM, telecom, direct mail marketing. I mean, you name it. We have it in our beautiful suite of products, and you know, we really are intentional about leaning into our customers. We really pride ourselves on being a tech partner, not just a tech vendor, even though we have a whole lot, you know, that we have, you know, to offer. We really lean into what is it that agents and brokers are missing in their strategies. What are they looking for? So we can find exactly, you know, which gaps we can fill.
Fantastic. And again, you've got great information to share with us. I know you've got some really great an offering for a consultation. We'll give that. I don't want to give the spoiler away, but stay on. Elm Street is providing a very valuable offering at the end of today's talk. So if you have questions, everybody, you can put those questions into the questions section in the GoToWebinar panel. There is an area that says questions. We'd love to take your questions throughout the webinar. We can also take questions at the very end as well. So I look forward to that. And then, you know, our first kind of, when I started this conversation during our pre-call, you know, where to post is a big question for agents all over the country, because they're like, do I post here? Do I post there? Some are underutilized platforms. I know you're going to share with us why they're so important. But the first question I really have is where should we be spending our digital time posting, and why? Because I think most realtors don't realize the differences between some of these platforms. And you know what? I'm going to start, Carrie, I'm going to start with you first. what is your suggestion as to where to post, and why are we being strategic about that posting?
And I'm going to talk from a different perspective. You could post and never generate a lead, because you could be posting where your audience isn't. Oh, and of course, I get the noise in the background. So, for me, it is, I am on Facebook, I am on Instagram, I am on, some of you, I know Sherry and Stephanie are going to cringe. I am on LinkedIn, I am on TikTok. I am very specific and focused on YouTube and Instagram. However, believe it or not, I'm on Snapchat, and I am also on, and I'm specific on TikTok. So this is what I always tell everyone: go to where your audience is. I recruit agents from Snapchat. So I know, because after hearing the pre-recording and all of that, I always say sometimes you have to know where your audience is, where they're hanging out. And per Pew Research, anyone under the age of 33 has always known the World Wide Web. It might be 34 this month. So I always say, go to where your audience is. And then if you are not generating any leads from that page, take a second and look at your analytics, because it could be old school. Maybe it's because you're not engaging and having a conversation. So when I say where to post, go where your audience is.
Yeah, and I agree with that, so much, Carrie. When you think about it, there's a different demographic on each and every platform, right? You think about it, the majority of the biggest target market for millennials, or biggest demographic for millennials, is going to be on Twitter, right? Or like you said, on TikTok. We've got those Gen Zers. Facebook, probably the largest variety. And then of course, LinkedIn, you've got your business professionals. We suggest, again, being on every platform. You want to make sure that you can reach not only a target audience, right? Where your audience is, what you're trying to, the people you're trying to connect with, but also we're trying to reach the largest audience possible, right? So rule of thumb for me, Steve, I know you agree, be on every platform, reach that largest demographic, connect with everyone that you possibly can. And I think that awareness, knowing the different demographic that you're going to be able to reach on all of these platforms, really, really helps agents start to develop some content ideas, and just being able to navigate those a little bit better, knowing what that audience is on each platform.
Yeah, absolutely. Being in front of every single one of them. One of the great things about all of these platforms when you're utilizing all of them is that it opens up the door for as much traffic as you can possibly get. And, to Stephanie's point, everybody is on these platforms. When I sit down with agents, I always say, think about the last time that you were at dinner with your friends, with your family, with your spouse. At some point or another, everybody was looking down at their phone, right? They were on one of these platforms.
That's true.
And to add on to that, I'll tell you something. My 90-year-old grandmother, she spends more time on Facebook and some of these platforms than I even do. But my 90-year-old grandmother is on these platforms. Your buyers and sellers are there too.
I'll tell you guys one quick thing, just kind of a little funny, talking about, knowing who your audience is. I was working with a broker in the Villages. You guys familiar with the Villages in Central Florida? One of probably the largest senior community in a country. We call it Senior Disney. And anyway, we're talking to this broker, and we were talking about being on Twitter, and he's like, well, why would I need to be on Twitter? We're looking at a 55 and up community. Well, within that same conversation, his business partner was talking kind of out of frustration of, oh, we're always having to deal with all these millennial children. We're never dealing with the buyers or the sellers. We're dealing with their kids. The broker looks over at me and he goes, I need to be on Twitter, don't I? I said, yes, sir, you do. So.
Well, and I know that many agents don't use LinkedIn, and they don't realize why LinkedIn is so fabulous, and it's really built for referrals. It's built for business. Anyone want to comment on some other benefits of LinkedIn, just because it is such an underutilized platform, underrated, underutilized, and just an opportunity that people can take advantage of. Carrie, why do you think it's so helpful to be on LinkedIn?
So first of all, over and above the referrals, is it's a great place to connect with the local businesses in the city you live in. It's a great place to connect with the CEOs of companies in the areas you live in. And then it's a great place to showcase that you're a professional. We are always trying to build our brand as real estate agents and to show value. What a great place, because I'm sure you're going to talk about it, is if you're blogging, go showcase your blog on LinkedIn. So if someone's looking for someone that understands data, they understand what's happening in an area. How about maybe you're going to get a big box company, or let's just say, we'll pretend it could be a Walmart, an Amazon, it could be a new small business that's coming to a neighborhood, and they're looking for data to show them that, oh, we're in an area where if I make 100,000, I can live here. We're in an area if I make 60,000, I can live here, or maybe even 200,000, I can live here, because you're the agent that wrote a blog post on affordability. And so when we hear the word affordability, we think, oh, low income. That's not what it means. It just means affordable for the neighborhood. So leverage LinkedIn and show that you're the expert. You don't even have to post every day, but if you go there and you post and you're using some of the tools that Elm Street is offering, you could actually schedule some of your content to post when the business professionals are online. Because what are we doing as real estate agents? We're working and we're trying to generate new leads, but we might not be there Monday through Friday when they're there.
Right. Yeah. And, the thing that's so great too is when you think about LinkedIn, a lot of times agents, it's surprising, I'll be in a class or just, meeting with agents, and we'll say, how many of you have a LinkedIn? Everybody raises their hand, right? How many of you are really consistently posting to that activity log? And everyone's hands go down. But, we call LinkedIn the silent powerhouse. It's my absolute favorite platform. Like you said, I mean, what better way to brand yourself as an industry expert? But then, of course, that community resource. It's huge for, of course, agent-to-agent referrals. It's an incredible tool for, recruiting. And the thing is with LinkedIn, it's not affected right now by the algorithms like Facebook and Instagram are.
Yeah.
Right. So back in the day, before all these, algorithmic changes, if I posted something on Facebook, everybody who followed me on Facebook was going to see it in their newsfeed. Now you post something on Facebook, right? I might see it today. I might see it tomorrow. It might be in my newsfeed, maybe not. LinkedIn, not affected by those algorithms. So you better believe what you're posting to that activity log, everyone who follows you, it's going to be in their feed. So the exposure is huge on LinkedIn.
And Stephanie, and the other thing is, universities are there. They're very strategic. They have parent groups on LinkedIn, and the education space is there. So my identical twin, Dr. Blasey, they are, back to Twitter and LinkedIn, they are big on LinkedIn and Twitter, because that's where they hang out. We hang out where we think we should hang out because we think that's where the consumer is. But how many of you would love to sell a property to an educator, or the superintendent, or the principal of a school? Because that's where they hang out.
Love that. And to piggyback off of that, I have a client of mine that her niche is working with like assisted living facilities, memory care facilities, and really partnering with those businesses to help their customers and everything through life change transitions and all of that. I think the majority of her business and where she's hanging out is on LinkedIn and really connecting with those businesses, and they're able to see exactly what she specializes in. And we always try to coach our clients to really know what your niche is and dominate it. And LinkedIn is just an incredible platform for you to really be able to showcase that.
Stephen, what would you add to LinkedIn?
Yeah, I mean, I love LinkedIn because of it being your professionals network. The whole platform is pretty much like your online resume. You're able to brag about yourself a bit. You can boast about awards and achievements and accomplishments that you've had, and you're really able to showcase it to those other business professionals, to those CEOs that you want to be in front of, or those universities and college professors, and really showcase as well that you're an expert in real estate.
I think too, we know that we're competing on the Facebook scroll, right, with so much, and it just feels like these other platforms have the ability to just focus a little bit streamer, like I don't know, there's just not as much I don't know, just feels like on LinkedIn, you can put endorsements on there, unlimited connections, and you just all described networking with the people that where you work, live, and play, and connecting with the schools, connecting with small business owners, etc. I do want to switch over to, and I'm glad you said TikTok. I always tell people I can't say that something does or doesn't work unless I've tried it myself, right? And I will admittedly say I have a horrible TikTok account right now. But Carrie, you are inspiring me to change that. And I also think, you said you're recruiting on Snapchat. And so you have to be where the people are. I know that Snapchat is just another great way to communicate with people in a different format than we're used to. If you were going to text people, right now, you can do that with a video, some graphics, and some photography, like some actual, either video or photos of yourself. So I think, if you're at home and you're like, I can't dance, I don't want to do a TikTok. How can agents use TikTok? And how can they use it effectively as a real estate agent? Carrie, I'll ask you first, and we'll go to the others.
So I always say, teach me something and know your audience. And, based on all of the research I've done, is TikTok really does push video. And, if we were to think about the cities we live in, so I live in Illinois, I live in a city called West Chicago, Illinois, and it's not Chicago. We're about an hour west of Chicago with no traffic. Okay. And if I were going to use, I do use TikTok, but I'll tell you how in a second. If I were going to use a different platform, and I am all for, go where your audience is, but if you wanted to add something like a TikTok, think about video, think about how you can make your neighborhood a place where you can showcase it and maybe make it entertaining. And if you're like, nope, I'm not entertaining, but what if you became the history buff for the neighborhood and you talked about what was happening in the area and said, hey, did you know in the city of West Chicago, we are almost like Wisconsin Dells because we have a swimming pool with 3 water slides, a giant bucket, and when the bell rings, all the kids go running, and you showcase things like that because now you become the expert in the neighborhood and you're showcasing it. And if you're like, nope, I'm not sure I want to do that, do you have a hobby? What do people love to see? And it could be gardening. It could be that you have a hidden talent. I have a hidden talent. I couldn't type when I graduated from high school. I can sew. I'm not going to go showing you how to make draperies because that's just not exciting to me. But what could you showcase on TikTok? So the way I use TikTok is whenever we go on vacation, I try to tie it into real estate. So I just came back from a trade mission from Spain, and I decided I want to use TikTok in a way to showcase what's happening outside of our country and to showcase, this is what you can do and how you can meet real estate agents in other countries, but here's a great vacation spot. And maybe, you could talk about, when you go to a vacation spot, here's the cool things you can do. And it was because of that, which made me go viral on TikTok. So it wasn't intentional. And so what can you do on TikTok to maybe teach me something, showcase something, or show us that you're the expert? We can talk about testimonials because most of us do it on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and LinkedIn, but how could you use another platform differently? Yeah. And I do have a gamer in my house, and he has over 220,000 followers. He's, I shouldn't say in my house because he does live on his own. And he's like, Mom, you're boring. And when he said it, it was like, okay, I'm boring. So what do you think I should do? So because of my 20-year-old, I have a professional camera. And I used to edit television. He said, you have to do something to make me stop, but yes, keep it ethical as a real estate agent. So I'm not saying you have to do it, but if you are going to do it, you have to really think about what's going to make someone want to listen to me.
I love that, Carrie. Does it educate me? Does it inspire me? Does it entertain me? Right? If we can kind of think about those 3 things when we talk about video creation, I think that'll give us a nice little launching pad. So I totally love that. And Carrie, I'm with you. My kids are older. And just when we think we are the experts, these young kids try to come in here and try to tell us what's up, right? But it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
I was corrected quickly because he was like, Mom, do you know you can make money on TikTok? I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. But he really did make me pause and say, your videos are too long, make them shorter and be a little more entertaining. But he did say, you know, you could still be you, but figure out what people really are watching and then go do that.
Yeah, yeah. And I also loved what you said too, because we talk about this a lot in our classes too, is a lot of times agents are not comfortable being in front of the camera. And I get it, even though video is everything and you know it's the best way for people to engage. But if you're not quite comfortable yet with you being on camera, like you said, showcase your community, showcase cool features in the town that you live in, you know, again, find a niche and dominate it. And if maybe you're not the focus of that video, maybe it's not your face, maybe it's someone else, you know, use your video as a networking tool and go to your mortgage lender. Maybe your mortgage lender, you know, wants to, you know, get on camera and they're comfortable with that, or, you know, whatever it might be, just that local restaurant owner, you know, let's do a video with them, have some fun with it. But, you know, there's more than one way for you to really start getting active with video, even if you're not quite comfortable with it yet. And I always say yet, because sometimes you might not be comfortable right away. And then you're like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah, because you couldn't have paid me in high school. I mean, like, you couldn't have paid me. You couldn't have made me do a speech in front of anyone. But when I realized I knew what I was talking about, it became easier. And because I used to edit television for a nonprofit, I started to realize that no one is watching you until you post the video. So, then I realized I'll just post the video and turn the volume down if I want to go back and look at it, because I don't want to hear myself talk. So post it, walk away, and then go see what kind of engagement you get.
Love it.
That's right. That's right. And you know, it's funny. I was coaching an agent doing about 75 million, and she was cursing me out because I told her to jump in the deep end and just start doing video.
Yeah.
And we increased her business $18 million with this little strategy called video. And the scalability, everybody, is that you can, I mean, obviously we all want face-to-face connections. Next to that, digital door knocking, putting out a video. And if you want, email it out to your sphere first. You know, you don't have to post it on social media. And I heard somebody this past week at a conference I was speaking at, she said, I don't even know who's watching it. No one could be watching it, right? And the best part of this whole thing is you are exactly how you look and sound anyway, right? So like we just gotta get over ourselves and say, this is what I look like, this is what I sound like, everybody. And you know, I think, which leads me to, you know, how do we maximize Instagram Reels? How do we maximize you know, video? I'm going to come back to these two slides here, but I think there's a big confusion about what's a story, what's a reel. I have agents say, just as I learn something, it changes, obviously. But real quick, if you could just share, because I picked up something you said, Carrie, and I'm going to ask this question first to Steve, but we need them to be shorter and we need to tell why, because people don't have an attention span, I think. But what kind of content, and then how short should they be? And then please describe for our audience, you know, what a reel is, what a story is, and why we need to be on all of these things, and how to repurpose those videos. Stephen?
Yeah, definitely. So when it comes to these videos, first off, I'll explain to you. So you are going to have your stories and then your reels. To be honest with you, there's not much of a difference, okay, besides duration and longevity of the video itself. You know, with a story on your Instagram profile, it's only going to stay on that profile for 24 hours. And you'll, of course, have tracking within that duration. You don't necessarily have to record a video to do a story. You can upload a photo, you can upload a flyer, you can even just create something there. Now, a reel is something that is going to stay on your profile permanently until you decide to remove it. So I always recommend, if you're doing a story, you should save it and turn it into a reel. So that way you're essentially killing two birds with one stone. In my opinion, when it comes to longevity of your videos, I always recommend around 2 to 3 minutes, a minute or minimum of 1 minute. The reason being is because you want to keep them short and sweet. You want to be giving that entertainment within that time frame. The consumer can watch it, they can get right out. And that's why, not to backtrack onto TikTok, but that's why TikTok is such a powerful platform, because you're not recording 20, 25-minute videos. You've got what, 60 seconds or 3 minutes to cram that information into one. I think one of the great things about content is you could really do a variety of things, especially when it comes to stories and reels. And in terms of content, when you're doing these short and sweet videos, you're really able to tap into what consumers are liking, whether it's a trending song or a trending dance move. I've seen agents go as far as to be having an open house and do a trending dance move. Like it was, anybody watch Wednesday, the Wednesday dance, the Addams Family? I had agents that were in the open house doing the Wednesday dance, and people were eating this up and having such a good time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but aside from that, if you're somebody that doesn't like to get that silly, and if you're kind of shy, you should be doing educational videos. Talk about the market, offer home valuations, talk about how now is the time to sell. You could go as far as to having an open house. If you don't want to showcase what you look like on camera, walk around the property. Showcase the bedroom, the living room, talk about the amenities. And one of the great things is that engagement is still there.
Well, I think there was a stat that came out that was about like 1 out of every 5 Instagram stories results in a direct message. Right? So
would you repeat that, please, Stephanie?
1 out of every 5 Instagram stories on average will result in a direct message. So that's super, super powerful. You think about it, 1 out of 5, so, if an agent is going and, saying, hey, curious to know what your home is worth. Are you thinking about selling your home in the next 6 months? Yes or no? You can put those polls on there, super simple. And honestly, I think that really the behavior that people are scrolling online, they're not necessarily on Instagram going through their feeds anymore. They're looking at those stories and the reels. I hardly even scroll beyond that. So, it's really, really important that we're starting to engage in those stories.
What can you 3 talk about in terms of, hashtags, why they're useful, relevant hashtags? I mean, do people search by hashtag, and, why do we go to the effort to put all these hashtags? Are there too many? Should there be less? Carrie, what's your thoughts on hashtags?
Well, Instagram changed their algorithm, and hashtags, although relevant, you don't need them to search anymore. So I'm going to say this, it doesn't mean you shouldn't use them, but when we go to the explore page and we search, I don't have to use hashtag house hunting. I can just put in house hunting. So I can either find the hashtag, or I can find people that are saying house hunting.
Okay.
So, and so we know you could put, 25 hashtags on a post. The test, and I'm going to say it's a test, is 5 hashtags or less. So if you are the person that's putting in hashtags and you are saving them in Evernote and you are copy cutting and pasting, Instagram actually knows when you copy cut and paste. So the hard part of that is it's easier to type in 5 hashtags, or if you are going to copy cut and paste, it could push you down in the feed and you may or may not be seen. So if you are going to, so there's 2 things that are happening even on, and I'm going to say Instagram because, but when you post on Instagram, there was a point where they were really pushing reels to the point where if you made a photo post, or I'll call it a carousel or a slideshow post, you may not have been seen. But Instagram has changed that now to, if you make a post and you put in, not a video yet, if you just put in a photo and you tell a really good story, your audience is more likely to see that, and you'll get more engagement from your audience. However, if you post a reel, you will also reach the people that are not following you. So again, you can have up to 90 seconds on a reel, but everything now is a reel. Even if you go live, it's under the reels category on your profile. So if you are going to create a video, again, just like Stefan said, that 60 seconds or less is great. But if you are someone that's new to creating video, even if you're going to do a photo reel, try test 10 seconds or less, because what's going to happen is if someone swipes and they see your reel, they're going to end up watching the entire reel, which will then push you up the feed, because the longer, if someone watches the duration of the video, Instagram has now determined this is what they want to see. So the longer the video, and if you don't catch me right away, I may not watch. So here's another test.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna interview Stephanie and say, Stephanie, and we're gonna do Ask the Expert, I'm just gonna get into Stephanie's talk, and I'm not gonna have her introduce herself until the end of the video. Just get right into what you're gonna say, and then make sure you comply with license law in your feed and your profiles, but get right into it so you make me stop and listen.
I think you're talking about building an audience, which I love, because you said it. Once someone stays on X number of seconds, I'm not sure how many, say it's 6 or 8 seconds, they're now going, every time you post something, right, Carrie, they will see that post. It becomes an audience that you're building because they are staying on long enough. And I've had lots of agents tell me that they started by not talking about themselves and rather doing an aerial shot or a drone shot of the front door, coming into the front door of a house and captivating people because they want to watch that, right? So awesome stuff. And I think too, you said, let me ask you this. With respect to, so the hashtags, which I think this is all really good content, because good info, because I don't think we know all of this as it changes. I didn't know about the cut and paste issue. If you cut and paste, they know that and they actually ding you for that. That's good info to have on here.
So it doesn't mean you shouldn't. It just means if you are and you're not getting the traction, maybe the next time use those thumbs.
Right. But and we're totally equally yoked with you, Carrie. We totally agree. You don't need to have a gajillion hashtags, and also remember that hashtags are intentional, right? You don't want to just have hashtag best agent ever, hashtag buy with me, hashtag sell with me, right? Hashtagging is like putting your content into like an invisible filing cabinet, right? So be intentional when you're thinking about how people are searching. And again, it's more important that you're using hashtags effectively than if you are then just doing it just to do it. You don't.
Yeah.
What was that, Steve?
I was saying, you don't want to use, you of course want to use the hashtags to be found, but you need to be using them correctly, right? Not just intentionally. One of the ways that I see agents use hashtags, and they have a lot of success with it, is they hashtag their brand, and that's something that anybody can use. So for example, I have an agent out in California. Every time she has a property, every time she helps a client, she'll hashtag, the #, and then, if it was Sherry Johnson Real Estate. Then when she has her clients post reviews about her on Facebook or on Twitter or any of these platforms, they'll use that same hashtag, right? So now when people research off her business card that hashtag, they're finding all of her past clients using that same hashtag. So it's all getting put under the same invisible filing cabinet, and she's not getting mixed in with, millions and billions of other people unlikely to be found.
That's a fabulous pro tip right there. That is hashtag your brand and then get it to over 1,000 uses, right? Like I do that. I watch and I go, oh, it doesn't say that anymore. I must be over 1,000 times of using hashtag, whatever. That's really good stuff. I do want to talk about YouTube, because we haven't spent a lot of time on YouTube. And agents will say, why do I need a YouTube account? And I'm like, oh. So let's tell them why.
Right. Well, first of all, Google owns it, right? So if you want Google to send, where do you think Google's going to send their users to? You better believe it's going to be YouTube.
Yeah. SEO, right? So let's discuss. So using, because they'll say, well, no one's going to go to it. I'm like, all right, well, you're going to house your videos there using the right keywords. SEO is going to be increased. Carrie, you have a YouTube account, and so tell everybody listening what you use it for and what kind of results you get from having it.
So I use it as a broker owner, because my goal is to do a soft recruit. And I know beginning of the year, everybody's calling switch companies. So what I do is, and I became intentional when the pandemic hit, because in our state we kind of shut down. And I thought, okay, there's a few things I need to do. And so one was, doing video. and the other one was creating video content and having it post every Wednesday at like 9:30 a.m. So I use it as a recruiting tool. Now, do I have sections? I have some hidden videos. So if you call me and you want to buy a home, you're on my husband's team. I mean, I'm on my husband's team.
Okay.
We can send you the video on how to, use, because our multiple listing service has a feature where the consumer can build their own searches. So I want to be able to show you how to use that. In addition to that, we have videos on what it's like to, these are things you can do in the city we live in. Like we have a dual language program. I have 2 kids that are fluent in Spanish because of it. So we use it as to showcase what's happening in the city we live in. And in addition to that, and so we do direct mail. So I do direct mail to agents that I would like to recruit, and I send them to the YouTube channel. And then we also do, so for my husband's mailers, we send them to YouTube and or Instagram. So I'm testing to see where people really want to go watch the replay of a video. So 3 places we either send you: YouTube, Instagram, or a private Facebook group. Because the private Facebook group, we do a direct mailer for people that are currently renting to switch them into a buyer. And we say we have an exclusive group. Nice. Where you can watch content, like house hacks. Right now, everyone wants to build wealth. So we do house hacks, how to get into a home with maybe no earnest money, because my husband's done it, how to invest, how to renovate, how to flip, how to buy multi-unit. And so the only place you can get the content is in the private Facebook group.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, I love that.
Stephanie, thoughts on YouTube?
Yeah, I was going to say what we do for clients is, with YouTube, kind of going off of the fact that Google owns it, and also of the fact that people are Googling street addresses all the time. So we always, suggest, listen, every single listing that your brokerage has, that you have as an agent, make sure you have a virtual tour of that property on your YouTube channel. And it doesn't matter how fancy it is. It doesn't have to be drones, lights, camera action, all of that. You can stitch photos together, lay it over some music. It can be very, very simple. But the key, as far as SEO and as far as getting that traffic, is that you have a street address in that title, right? Keywords, real estate, the neighborhood, all that great stuff. But that is just so, so powerful, so simple to do. But again, when people do those quick Google searches of a street address, first place Google's going to send those users is to that YouTube channel. Put a link to your website in the description. Boom, you've got, more traffic going right back to your website. That's, something that we very, very much try to drill that point home is your social media. The goal of it, right? Everything we're doing, we're building top of mind, right? And we're driving traffic back to the front door of your business.
Stephanie, what about like your What's My Home Worth landing page in your
Absolutely.
YouTube link?
Yeah.
Love it. Yes, absolutely. Yep.
We have agents doing it to that point. I love every single one of these points. This is why you guys are so awesome. We have agents doing a relocation. If you're relocating to Scottsdale, Arizona, right? I specialize in relocation and creating a video that, again, has a shelf life, evergreen, that with the right keywords creates, click in the link below and we'll happily send you a relocation kit, if you're moving here, and we'll connect you with an agent in your current town. So, you can create a relocation video about your town. If you go right now and search your town and real estate or home buying, home selling, homes for sale, and you look at the video content, most of us don't, with images, video, click on video and see if anyone is doing this. We find that there aren't many agents doing this, and this is a huge opportunity. You can also set up a 4 video series home buying. Here's my exclusive home buying program, and I have it in a video series as well. The videos are, 2 to 3 minutes in length. Maybe it's 6 videos, getting your home prepared for sale, another great content topic for a video series, all putting this into your YouTube account and then sending that out in a drip campaign, putting it on social media. Stephen, what do you want to say to us about YouTube?
Well, I'll tell you, aside from Google owning it, it is watched more than cable TV by the millennials. So It tells you right there just how powerful it is and the engagement that you could really get from it. And, I really like what Sherry was talking about, that relocation guide over video. That's something consumers want to know about. Moving is such a big deal for a lot of people. So to have a real estate agent make a video on it and explain the process and make it easier for them, you're already starting to build that relationship before the relationship has even begun.
Well, and that's what we do for everything in life now, right? I
Mhm.
mean, everything we're trying to do, I want to do a recipe, I want to, change my tire. I mean, you do just anything, how-to
People
videos,
appreciate that type of content.
right. It's just, I love it. And that's just the power of what we have at our fingertips. And, again, does it entertain me? Does it inspire me? Does it educate me? Right? If we can really, really think about, just kind of those three guidelines for our content, you're going to start seeing your engagement go through the roof.
Before we go to what agents should be doing to start immediately, it's taking action, of course. But Carrie brought up, and I had this in my notes, private Facebook groups, which I love because this audience is invited, right? We do it in a VIP concierge, friends and family of kind of environment where you can post daily, have conversations with people. You're not talking about real estate necessarily. You're talking about everything but real estate in some of these groups. Carrie, you use this for strategically, I loved, for people renting, becoming buyers. Are you using it? Are you using it with clients that, any type of client, past clients, current clients, Facebook private group, other than the ones you listed? I'm just curious if you're using that for any other, client engagement.
No, so I use my CRM for that to keep in touch. And then I have a lot of clients that may or may not be on social media, but if they are, they're either my friend already on Facebook or they're on the other platforms. I always think that I want to do that, but I think that the human factor and having the, get-togethers every quarter or every year, I think are more effective when they're already in my network. So the group that I have is to really reach people that maybe don't know they can own. I tell my story, and I really do target a list of, and we all work in different markets. So for me, I can go to my multiple listing service, and we have the ability, because it's off market, to use the data to target potential buyers. And if I were to pick one city right now that I know of, there's at least 500 potential renters that need to make a decision in the next 90 days through today. So the target is, I'm looking for the 90-day people, or people that, and if we were looking at the date and I were to go 3 months out, I would say these are people that rented last year. So I want to look for people that rented, they haven't made a decision to move. They haven't given notice to the landlord yet. They're going to get one touch from me. So if I were to go after this list every single month for the rest of my career, because this could tie into strategy, if it was for the rest of my career and I targeted potential buyers, I could redirect them to social media and I would always have a lead. So from this list, and I know it works, because my husband he walked into the bank and the banker said, "Mark, why do I have your mailer?" And he said, "I guess you don't own a home."
Isn't that interesting? Yeah.
So it works because he got the mailer and now he's in the Facebook group. So people, even if they don't pull the trigger right away, because I had an agent tell me it took 10 months for someone to reach out. We know in marketing, Zig Ziglar, right? It takes 5 to 7 times for someone to even decide to reach out to you. It could be faster, but it's called work. You still have to put in the work, and we still have to ask for the business, and we have to have a strategic plan.
And another thing I just want to kind of shed light or just kind of hang a lantern on is you've mentioned mailers a few times. And something that I want to say, that we're really focusing on right now with Elm Street is you want to be in people's inbox, you want to be in their news feed, but you also want to be in their mailbox. And there is just a really, really big kind of shift in real estate where agents are starting to really look more into mailers than they have been. Of course, with the tech boom, right? We kind of strayed away from it for a little bit, right? Oh, nope, we don't need to do that. You know, it ends up in people's, trash cans and this and that. And, of course, boosting and ads, give you so much opportunity for exposure. But you know what? Having that actual, like, tangible, especially when you're very strategic about who's getting these mailers, right? We're kind of developing some content right now that I like to call back to the future. Bringing in some of these old school practices, such as mailers, and tying it in with what you're doing, with what your strategy is online. And so I love that you brought that up a few times, Carrie, because I'm a big fan. That is something that we have recently added to our suite of products at Elm Street, is automated mailers, preferred newsletters, things like that. Because, I mean, your banker had a mailing from you. That's incredible.
And listings still come from the mailbox. And my mother,
Right.
who is the boomer, she always says, Carrie, I got another mailer. She lives in DC and it's from real estate agents. And so we know that even if they're on social media, they are more likely to hire you from the mailbox. There could be a shift, but they are more likely to hire you from the mailbox.
Yeah, we
That's
have
right.
we have agents doing mailers spending about $3,000 using QR codes to get people onto their social media to engage with them. Like you explained, Carrie, is tying it to social media. One of our coaches who was a client and became a coach with us made $100,000 in 4 months, raised her average sale by $200,000 in Atlanta. And at the same time, literally made $100,000 in 4 months from people she didn't know. So I say I come from commercial printing background before real estate, but it is the least expensive, most effective print medium is a postcard that says you did something. It's results oriented and it shows that another busy month, another busy month. Even the simplest message of, are you thinking of moving? I'm taking new clients. That messaging is great. So I want to ask, Stephen, I'm going to start with you. How should agents start? Because we're running out of time here. I'll give you a quick answer. Sorry. We've had such great content and dialogue and conversation. How should agents start? It seems like a huge undertaking. What's the easiest way that you would recommend that they just put a piece of pen to paper, write up a plan, put a social media content calendar together? What's your best advice for them?
My best advice would be to have a foundation. Make yourself an outline, and overall know where you're starting in your online marketing and know where you're going to continue with it. So for example, you're going to start with a website, you need these digital channels. So know exactly how you are going to execute it. It's better to invest some time each week than no time. Just get started and have fun with it. And I think that the rest will really start to fall into a professional place.
And don't get caught in the weeds, right? Don't get caught in the weeds. Think about this. There's so much that can be automated, right? Obviously, that's what we help with agents, is getting content automated, listings automated, market reports, and all that kind of stuff, newsletters, so that frees you up to start doing all these other things. Because everything we've been talking about today, to somebody who's new to this, it can be very overwhelming. It's like, oh my goodness, Carrie, how did you do all of that? You make it sound so easy. We think about all those things, but get as much as you can automated. Then focus on your videos, focus on your networking, be strategic about your mailers, and think, okay, instead of just sending out 2,500 mailers to this neighborhood, I'm going to invest in some Google ads so we can see who's actually typing in my neighborhood, what is my home worth in XYZ, right? So instead of sending out that 2,500, I'm going to send 100 out to these people who I know are searching online for what their home is worth. Get those, and spend your time where no one else can replace you, and just really think about, okay, what can I automate? What can I leverage so that I can really focus on these three things, video, strategic mailing, and attending a networking event every other week.
Awesome. Carrie.
I'm going to keep it really simple. Commit and pick one thing. If you are already using one platform, you can add another, but I'm going to say you have to commit. And for me, it could be, I decided I was going to go live every Friday at 9 a.m. And so now people expect me.
Yes.
So if you're not sure or you feel overwhelmed, again, get the help so you can go automated, because we have to market our listings. We have to show people we're in the business. We have to show that we're working, but commit and be your authentic you. You do not have to do what I do. You do not have to do what the top producer has been doing for 10 years. You're not there yet. Pick something and do one thing. And if it's going to be the reels, create the reel. Before you post the reel, download it. Download it, because now you can and make it 60 seconds or less, because now, yeah, I'm going with Instagram because I get more functionality than Facebook Reels. Create the reel on Instagram, download it, because now you can put it on your Facebook business page or your group on Facebook or your Facebook feed. And then you can also put it on TikTok, and then you can also put it on YouTube Shorts. So you already have like 6 places you can repurpose. And I didn't even mention the story that has the link. So if I was going to say commit, if it can convince you to do the video, be your authentic you. And before you post it, download it. Repurpose.
Awesome. Yes, it's fantastic. It really is. And this has just been an outstanding, fast 60 minutes of just gold, pure gold from all of you. I can't thank you enough. And I know if I didn't say it earlier, we are recording this so that you can listen to it again. Our awesome friends at RISmedia will be sending out the playback. And I'm excited too, because Stephanie, tell us about the offering that Elm Street is providing to our listeners today.
Yes, absolutely. For all of you guys listening, if you're like, all right, that was a whole lot of information, absolutely connect with us. We have our link that we're going to put here in the chat box. There's also, you can scan this QR code to connect with us and schedule a one-on-one with one of our social media experts. If you're overwhelmed, you don't know where to start, it's okay. That is what we are here for. We can find out what you have going on, what you don't have going on, and really help you put together a strategy for automation, put together a strategy for, all right, where do I begin? Where am I going? Or how can I start scaling what I've been doing? So definitely scan the QR code with your phone, guys. Check out the link in the chat box and connect with one of our social media experts, and we will work with you.
Fantastic. I love it. And really, it's a free consultation. You're going to learn from the consultation, first of all. So it's absolutely
for sure
worth doing.
For sure.
Yes. And Sherry Johnson Coaching, we're giving a 30-day guest pass to Sherry's free playbook. So the Sherry Johnson playbook is built from the Sherry Johnson Academy of short how-to courses, hundreds of courses with literally short how-to videos and downloadable course content. Plus, once a month, there is a live 1-hour group coaching call that you can take advantage of, as well as get a playback recording of that. This is free for the first 30 days. It's sherrysfreeplaybook.com. You can go check that out, get the first month for free. And then after that, it's only $49 a month. Thousands of dollars of coaching content, including how to make 50 grand at your next open house, as well as my exclusive Goldmine pipeline system that will double or triple your income. There's also social media content on there as well that will help you with video, with some of the things we've heard today about how to use social media, how to create social media strategy, and a easy to implement outline, like Stephen said, to put into practice. So I'm looking to see if we have any questions. And Peter, I'm not seeing any questions yet. If they're in here, here we go. Let's look. I don't see any questions, and I don't know if the audience has questions. If we do, let me know. I'm going to wait here a second. In the meantime, Carrie Little, I want to thank you. How can people go check out your Instagram, social media channels? Tell us where to find you, because I know everyone should connect with you, and they can do it. Sure, it's Carrie Little, right? Is it your name?
It's really Carrie Jo Little. Carrie
right.
J-O Little. I'm Carrie Jo everywhere. I have an identical twin, Carrie Jo and Mina Jo. So Carrie, I'm literally Carrie Jo Little everywhere, except maybe Twitter, Carrie J Little. I think I own Carrie Jo Little, but one day I'll fix that. One day I'll fix that.
I love that. Carrie, I have identical twins. My daughters are identical twins.
Oh my gosh, that is awesome.
That's
awesome. So
we get older.
Yeah.
And I want to say that when I saw, Carrie, that you were going to be on this, I said, it's supposed to be Carrie Jo. When I saw your name in an email, I was like, it's Carrie Jo.
No one calls me that. No one calls me Carrie Jo. They only call me Carrie, but I've decided to use my middle name because Carrie Little sounds from, a lot of people might have that. So
But I have it, I want to tell you, I have it branded in my head from your
you
social
call me
media.
Carrie Jo.
I know you from social media, right? And it's like, that's what I had, Carrie Jo Little. Stephen, thank you for your unbelievable talent and content and best practices. Stephanie, thank you for having Elm Street Technology help us today and be the sponsor. Carrie, thank you for all your drops of wisdom, literally gold pro tips from all three of you. And, I want to, again, remind you, all of these offerings, as well as the video playback, will be uploaded and then emailed to you later from RISmedia, so that you can watch this again and just make a huge list of things you're going to put into practice. We are excited for your success. And I just want to thank everybody for being here today. I'm Sherry Johnson. You guys rock. Have a great listing and sales week, and let's go make social media happen in 2023. Thank you again, everyone, and thank you to RISmedia. I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.